Now, this recipe is a modern-day classic, and you're absolutely going to love it. Couple of tablespoons, 3 or 4, of extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil goes back into the pan. Potatoes in. Let's have a little bit of olive oil. Put some olive oil, just a couple of tablespoons, in a pan, and you'll see why in a minute. Because ultimately, we're making a beautiful pie that would normally take certainly an hour to cook. Drizzle that with some olive oil, and just give it a little pat. And just finish it with a tiny bit of that oil on top again as well. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just to turn it into a sort of formal dressing, about 2 tablespoons, maybe a tiny bit more. A little bit more oil, just to calm down the lime juice. Also, a little bit of olive oil. And I like putting a bit of dried thyme, or fresh thyme if you like, on this duck. All they need is a tiny bit of oil and a little pinch of salt. Little bit of olive oil, just to sort of, you know, just to lube up all the rice so it don't sort of stick to each other. And we're going to put it straight into a pan. That pan's already been on the heat for a little sec, so that's already getting hot. About 2-3 tablespoons of olive oil in there. A little bit of olive oil or a little knob of butter in here. Just a little bit more olive oil. That's getting hot. I'm going to put some olive oil or some sunflower oil in this pan. Do it roughly. Don't try and be like good or well behaved. We go olive oil in a pan, right? A tablespoon or a bit. So win, 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 win. We're going to go a little bit of olive oil in the pan. You want to, you know, mushrooms are obviously mainly water, so you want to kind of make some effort to make these babies taste good. We're going to grill them. It's just a little olive oil, a couple of tablespoons into a bowl here, and then just a little drizzle of oil. And what that does is it just stops it going too dry, OK? You know, I think there is something to be said for caring. Do you know what I mean? So, a little bit of olive oil. Just about a tablespoon. So, about 2 tablespoons of olive oil goes in. About 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 2 or 3. About 3 tablespoons of olive oil goes in there. 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, maybe 5, but we'll see how we go. Goes in. So let's go olive oil. And these are going to be delicious. So another little drizzle of olive oil, just to make sure we're all right. And then we want about 4 or so tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. A good quality olive oil goes in. With some nice olive oil, just give a little drizzle. While that's whizzing, put about 3 tablespoons of olive oil into that pan. So you put a little bit of olive oil on the top there and it'll be nice. What tends to happen with mushrooms, if you cook them this way up, is the water will come out of them. You have a little pool of kind of juice that comes out, which will be gorgeous. Olive oil goes in. I'm going to use thyme with my steak today. What I want to do is just add about 4 or 5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into there. We're going to go olive oil. Just a little bit. A couple of lugs of olive oil in there. A little bit of oil goes on here as well. That with some good olive oil. Start oiling the whole board. What I'm doing now is I'm just adding enough oil to loosen it like this. I just put a little bit of olive oil on the water like that, just because it's the absorption method. The oil just kind of stops it all kind of sticking together. It's just a little bit, kind of just seems to help it in the pan a little bit. We're going to go in with some olive oil into the pan. Just drizzle these chapatis with a little bit of olive oil. I definitely want to get some olive oil in here. Herb-wise, I'm thinking basil, but you could go for any herb you want, pretty much. I'm going to put a little olive oil into a little pan. This is a little optional extra that I like. You know, you're not going to eat all this oil, so don't worry. Just a tiny bit in there. First of all, I need to get on there with some quality extra virgin olive oil, just on the top like that, instead of butter, right? So that's a good move. Oh, olive oil. You'll be so proud of yourself.